welcome to Move Wellness YouTube. My name is Tricia Wise. I'm going to be doing a chair Pilates class today, and I hope you will enjoy doing this along with me. All you'll need today is a chair that you feel comfortable in, that your feet can reach the ground, and that you can move your arms side to side sitting in the chair. So let's all find our chair and sit down and put our feet on the ground. So I'm not going to be leaning up against the back of the chair. I'm going to be finding an active sitting position. So my feet are pressing into the ground, my shoulders are down my back, and I'm lifting my spine from the back of my neck to the top of my head. So this might not be the way you regularly sit. You might lean to the left or lean to the right or sit back or sit forward when you are relaxing. We're finding an active sitting position where your weight's equally distributed on both feet, and you're sitting up nice and tall, and you feel a little squeeze in your glutes, the back side of you, and a little squeeze in your pelvis. Yes. So as we're getting ready here, I want us to take some deep breaths. So we're going to inhale, fill our lungs, and then exhale. And as you exhale, bring your ribs to your hips and engage the core. And just get comfortable sitting in this active position. Remember that any exercises I give you to do today can be modified to fit you. We don't want you to do anything that brings pain. Today, we just want you to learn some new ways to move your body while sitting in a chair. Keep breathing one more time. Inhale. Exhale, sitting tall. Now that we find our active sitting position, let's start with our feet. I'm actually going to take off my socks because I want you to see that you really want to activate through the feet. You do not have to. If your feet are cold today, do what you need to. But we're going to go ahead and have our feet underneath our knees, underneath our hips, and we're going to lift our heels. Find the backs of the legs working, reaching the head, the back of the neck up to the ceiling still. And reach with the heels. Maybe get a little taller. Maybe press through the feet. Put the energy into the metatarsal, the balls of the feet. 3 more times. 3 and 2 and 1. Now you're going to leave your heels in and really press into those heels and tap the toes. Can't get the toes up as far as you could get your heels. But maybe you're listening to a good tune. So you're tapping your toes and getting a nice stretch for the bottoms of your feet. So even though we're sitting, we want our legs and our feet to be very active in our exercises today. 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's stretch our leg long. Reach the top of the foot. Reach the knee long. And then draw it back in. Reach that leg long and draw it in. I need to keep my pelvis stable on the chair to send my leg away from the pelvis. I'm really thinking about staying rooted and grounded in that active sitting position while I'm reaching through the tops of my feet. Feels really good on my ankles to get this stretch. Let's do one more set. So we reach and pull it back, holding still in the hips, pull it back. Good. If you need to hold on to your chair at any time, do that if you feel more stable. We're going to reach now with the heel to get a stretch in the back of the knee. Feel your quadricep reach up and the backs of the knees lengthen. And we reach with the heel. Reach and reach. 2 more sets. Still staying with our active sitting position. Getting a stretch for the back of our knees. And we are in. Very good. Let's bring our legs together and our inner thighs together. Little inner thigh squeeze, which will help get our pelvic floor to lift even more, getting nice and tall. And we're going to lift our heels and take a little walk. One heel down, the other heel down. Just as if you're walking here. Feel the inner thighs work to make this happen. Your ankles are just brushing up against each other. Maybe take note of how evenly distributed your weight is on the balls of your feet. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure it's even on both sides. Bring those heels down and let's start working on our spine. So we're going to go ahead and find a deep curl starting in our lower belly here. We're going to open up the legs a little bit. It makes it easier to find that. And you're going to take a deep exhale. And as you do, you curl your spine. And then inhale to stack up the spine. This is our first flexion. Curl. So it doesn't have to be big to start with. We'll get bigger as we go. Stack up the spine. I'm working from the base of the spine all the way up. Not taking tension in my shoulders. So my shoulders aren't really changing what they're doing. It's all happening in my lower spine. My lumbar spine is curling. Come back up and curl and come back up. Now leaving that spine in neutral spine, we're going to hinge from the hip joints. So we're going to go forward and come back up and forward and come back up. Good. So you're staying in that neutral spine and you're finding that crease in the hip. I'll do 2 more facing this way so you can see. We go forward and back. So we keep our shoulders in line with our tailbone. It's not very far. Let's try going back now. So take that nice long line and lean back. Take a look up at the ceiling and come back. So you don't want to change the orientation of the back of your neck. Your eyes just follow where your spine is going. And back and up. So at any time, if we're doing a flexion and a flexion doesn't work for your spine, for any reason, you can always just do a hinge. And this is going to also help us, this hinge, this staying in this relationship here, this is going to help us stand up tall for our squats. All right, last one. Reach back and up. Good, let's go ahead and try our first squat. So we're going to take our hinge forward, press our hands into our thighs, feel the glute squeeze underneath us and get our bottom off the seat, and then stand nice and tall. Really squeezing the glutes in the back to help you stand tall, lengthening through the front. Back to your sitting squat and back to the seat. And you can use your hands as needed to feel safe coming back down. We go to a squat and a stand. Back to our squat. Let's add some breathing. Hopefully you already were. Reach. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. We have exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. And down. Okay, mobilizing the bottom half of our body. Let's start working our arms. So we want to still stay active in our feet, all the way through our legs, all the way through our spine while we work our arms and our upper shoulders. So we're going to reach forward. We're going to spread the scapula apart. Do a retraction. Bring it back. Bring it forward. This is actually protraction. And this one is retraction. And we're trying to spread the scapula apart. And then bring it back together. Good. Let's open up one arm to the side and bring it back. And to the side. Now, we're going to try to stay straight in the body. Notice that my body isn't tilting or changing its orientation. It's still pressing through the feet, staying nice and centered. It's just the arm moving. And then we'll add on. Next time we're going to go out, we're going to take a gaze that way. See how that takes your spine in a rotation. That's our first little rotation. We'll make it bigger in a minute. Just take the gaze. Feel the rotation in the ribs a little bit. The neck gets to rotate. Let's do an exhale when we rotate. Come back, inhale, exhale. Now let's make it a little bigger. Take it a little slower. We're going to rotate. Inhale, we're going to look behind us. Exhale to come back to the center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to go farther. Exhale to come all the way back. We go out to the side, to the back. Someone's calling your name. Hello. And you come back. And so you're reaching all the way around. Think about your ribs going around your spine. And come back one more time. Don't forget the breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale to return. Put your arms down by your side. Okay, so really warming up the spine, the shoulders, the arms. Let's go ahead and do an opposition stretch. So one arm's going up, the other one's coming down. And then we switch and switch. and switch. And you can go as slow or as fast as you feel comfortable doing this. See if you can stay in one long line, still in active sitting position, pressing into the feet, not changing the spine, just moving the arms. 4, and make sure you're equal. I have one more of my right and left, and we want to leave feeling symmetrically worked today. So now we're going to reach our arms out in front of us, and we're going to take them above our head together. As your fingers go up, your shoulders go down your back, and then forward. Down your back, fingers up. So the shoulders go down while the fingers go up. Feel that lengthening through the back. Press into the feet. Keep the neutral spine. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Let's bring our arms down. Let's rest our arms for a minute. Let's go back into the working of the spine. So we're going to go a little deeper into that. If you can do the flexion with me, let's try doing this. We're going to curl our tail back, curl our tail under, bring our head forward, look between your knees, and then stack up the spine. So you're trying to get a little bit more of a spine stretch. We do a half roll back. It's called a half roll back. And then a roll forward. And then stack up the spine 1 vertebra at a time. 2 more times. We breathe. Bring it forward. And stack up the spine. Nice and tall. We curl. Bring our head forward for that nice spine stretch. And stack up the spine. Let's try our hinges. Let's bring our hands behind our head into what's called a neck pull position. And we're going to allow our shoulders down our back. The length of our neck is reaching up, and we're opening out. Just feel a nice stretch through the side of your body and your armpit area. We're going to go ahead and hinge back and come back. You'll feel a little bit more weight having your arms up, but it also helps with the weight of your head. Let's do one more going back, and then we'll do the ones going forward. So now we're going to go forward with the hinge. Feel that stretch in the length of the back. Feels really good along the backside. Really reach your tailbone the opposite direction of where your head's going. Let's do one more. Good, and let's do a nice side stretch. Let your elbow hang, lift the other elbow. Oh, feels so good to stretch. Now notice this hip wants to lift up with it. Press that hip down and get a deeper stretch all the way through the back side. And then come up. Stretch the other elbow down. Lift that elbow up. Really press that hip down. The same hip as the elbow that's up. And reach. And down. And lift. And reach. Really feeling the opposition pull of my 2 elbows. Really helping my back to stretch. And my side to stretch. Last one. And good. And hopefully you feel already more lengthened and strengthened, and muscles are ready to move a little bit more. We have our weight into our feet. We're going to go into our squats, adding arms. If you want to keep with your arms safely by your side, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do the full one with the arms reaching. And I'm going to go into my hinge squat. Then I'm going to stand tall, back to the hinge, and down. We reach 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Remember, do what feels safe to you. Maybe this is too many squats. Then just do 1 or 2. Maybe you leave your arms down. This is your time. Make it work for you today. Make it safe and fun and productive. And let's do one last one, and let's stay up. And just bring our arms down to our side. We're going to go now to the back of our chair. I'm going to change the chair. You don't have to. You just go to the back of your chair. Make sure you have room, a little room behind you. And we're going to go ahead and just use the back of our chair as a support system for us so that we can work our feet a little bit more, work our body a little bit more now that we're all warmed up. We're going to bend and stretch, getting a nice stretch for the backs of our legs. Nice. We're going to find that active, remember that active sitting position while you're in that lengthened position standing. You're just on your legs now, but you still have that nice neutral spine. The back of the neck is long. And we're reaching down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's step one leg behind. We're going to get into a lunge position. So this leg's going to bend, the supporting leg, and this leg's going to stretch out really far behind you with the heel reaching. We're going to bend that knee. See how my foot is on a walk and my weight's on the metatarsal, and I'm going to stretch that heel. So I'm really getting nice workout for the back of my hamstrings, my glutes, and also really the back of my knee. So we have 4. And if you need to be up, if bending your knee is too much and you want to go in and out of it, that's fine too. You can do this whatever feels right for your body. There's a couple different ways you could do it. Here's another way. 2 and 1. Find yourself in that lengthened position and with a slightly bent knee. Take that arm up and we're going to stretch back. We're going to take the front of our body, reach up. Taking a nice sternum lift. Then take that arm up and go towards the bent knee. And come back up. Feels really good to get that lengthening through our body. Let's bring our leg up. Let's go to the other side. So we have this first position. Try this first with a bent knee and a back leg straighten. And then bend that back leg and lengthen it. Bend the back leg, lengthen the heel. So you're really getting that work in the back side. And if you need to come out of this position, you come up and down with the front knee too. So you can do it either way. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Send your heel back. Reach the same arm as the leg that's back behind you and reach up. Take the sternum lift. Reach up to the ceiling. Come back to that position. Neutral spine, and then send it over to the side. Getting a nice stretch, standing up nice and tall. Good. Let's go to our feet together and our legs together like we did when we were sitting down. I'm going to turn my chair again so you can see. And we're going to lift our heels, and we're going to go one then the other. Little walk step. Reach. So it doesn't have to be high. Your heels don't have to be high. You just want to take a little walk, standing still. Here we go, preparing for our moonwalk. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down, legs together, and just little lifts. Press into the chair. Press into the chair. Feel like someone's hooking up your front of your hips. That's actually your abs doing that. Lifting, helping you lift, and a little scoop in the back. And we have 4, and 3, and 2. And remember to make this just what works for your body. And 1. Good, let's go back to sitting. We're going to try something different here. We're going to have our feet down as we had before, but we're going to rotate. So we're going to take our heels and we're going to bring them together and feel a nice rotation through here. And there's a little squeeze going on in the glutes with our glutes helping our legs to rotate right in the hip socket. We're going to reach long and reach. So you're sending the tops of the feet off like we did at the beginning of class, but this time it's in a rotation. Reach, tops of the feet, reaching and reach. Feels good. Reach and reach. Good, and one more time each side. Reach with the top of the foot. Reach. Now let's add the heel in. So now you're going to get that stretch for the back of the leg. We're working on standing up in a rotated position. This always feels like a little jig, a sitting jig to me. Reach the heel to the side and back. And reach. If you had socks on, it would probably make your socks fall off. And reach. And reach. Last time, reach. And reach. Good, let's go ahead and take those legs a little wider. So now you're sitting with your pelvic floor. Let's make sure you feel safe on your chair, holding onto your chair. You have a nice wide rotation here. We're just going to lift the heels and lower. Lift and lower, sitting nice and tall. Having the pelvic floor support Your abs are supporting your upper abs. Everything is working together to help you to sit nice and tall, lifting and lowering the heels. 3 and 2 and 1. Take one leg over to the other leg and sit sideways on your chair. So you have your legs together. We're going to do the same stretch we just did standing, only sitting. So if this works better for you another time, you'll know that you have two options. You're going to send that leg behind you with the knee down and your metatarsals on the floor, the ball of your foot. And then we can do that arm reach and stretch back and take that sternum stretch. I'm pressing my ribs down so they don't pop up with me. I'm really just trying to lift within the sternum. And then with that same arm up, I go to the side and I can use my chair. So if that standing lunge stretch is too much for you, you can always just do this one. So we bring our knees together and we open up. We go to the other side. We sit nice and sideways on the chair. And then we reach back and we get a nice stretch through our hip flexor here. We reach our arm up and we reach our sternum. Keeping our ribs connected to our hips, and then come back up and we stretch side. Bring it back up, arm reaches, leg comes back, bring it back up, and walk your feet in. So we're back to our active sitting position. We're going to try lifting our legs now. So we're going to do that by using our abdominals and our curl that we practiced before. So as we exhale and curl, we're going to lift that leg and deepen that curl to use the muscle in our lower abs to lift the leg. And then come back up again. So exhale, lift the leg. Inhale, stack it up. Exhale, lift the leg. Inhale, stack it up. If that flexion feels like too much to you, you can lift your leg with that extended back. So you do the version that works for you. And curl. And back. And lift the leg. And up. 2 more times, 1 for each side. And up. And back. And up. Good, taking our arms down to our sides. Grab onto the chair with your right arm. Take your left arm, reach it up. And let's go ahead and take some nice side stretches. 1. And down. And 2. Here again, we have to make sure that we keep that hip down as we stretch away from it. That we don't take the hip up with us, because then we lose the opportunity to stretch all the way down. Take the heel of your hand now and reach up and over. Heel of the hand. Getting that nice stretch for the side. Really pressing in to the foot too on that side that you're reaching away from, so that you can stay stable in the center. This is our last one. Going up and over, staying there. Stretch the heel of the hand long. Feel a nice long stretch to the trapezius. Stretch through the fingertips. And come all the way up. Let's go to the other side. The arm comes up and over. I'm doing a little pull on my chair just to help that side curve happen. And I'm also pressing into this foot and that hip to help the stretch go all the way down my side. Let's do a heel of the hand. We have 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. 1 more to stay. We reach up and we stay. And we keep our head lengthening. And we reach our heel of our hand the other direction. Feeling that length. Reach the fingertips. And draw yourself back up to center. Let's take a nice stretch now that our body is thoroughly warmed up from head to toe. Let's take a nice stretch. So we're going to reach down and grab our right leg with that curl that we did before. Now we're going to take that foot and we're going to place it onto our knee. Now it may be small for you. You may have to put yours at your ankle. Wherever you can have a nice gentle cross of the leg so you get a stretch for your hip. We're going to first stretch with that lengthened back. I'm going to turn to the side so that I'm going to go over forward and do that little hinge that I was working on from the hips with a long lengthened back. Feel that really nicely in my hip. I'm getting a nice stretch. And then inhale here. Exhale, find that flexion. And then in this flexion, take a breath. Take the whole piece forward. And then stack up your spine one vertebra at a time. I'm working my way back to the center. Go ahead and cross your legs. Maybe you do this when you sit otherwise, but this is a very purposeful one. We're going to cross our legs. We're going to sit on both sits bones, so we're still staying very center, and we're going to look behind us. Cross our opposite arm over our knee and look behind us. Getting a nice stretch all the way through this side of the body, and this side too, just working together. And come back, and let's do the other side. So place that leg down. We reach with our leg up towards us. Find that curve so it's easy to place the foot up here or down at the ankle, whichever you need to. Then really stretch up, reaching that tailbone down, reaching the back of the head long, and sitting up nice and tall and feeling that stretch happen in the hip socket. And then from here, inhale, exhale, find that deep curve in the center. Breathe here. Take the whole piece forward like we did before in a spine stretch. And then stack up the spine one vertebra at a time till you're sitting nice and tall. Once again, cross the leg over. Cross the arm over that knee and look behind you. And come back to center. Very good. Let's take a few cleansing breaths for the end and just thanking ourselves for taking the time to warm up our body and feel good about our bodies. Let's reach up with an inhale, taking that sternum left, and an exhale, curl. You can make this as big or as little as you need, really focusing on the breath. If you want to take that spine stretch forward, you feel safe doing that and want to reach all the way into your legs. Reach up, inhale, exhale to curl. One more time. And exhale to curl. And stack up the spine. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you liked our chair Pilates. If you did, press that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love to see you come back here as often as you can. I have a chair Pilates class that I teach every week on our Zoom Move Wellness at 12:30 on Wednesdays, and we add props to this workout. We add a ball sometimes, or a TheraBand, or some weights. So join me and we can develop this program more. Come back anytime. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.